What's going on YouTube? Earth Power here, bringing you another Let's Play Duel Masters Shadow of the Code video. Where we left off last time, I just completed one tournament, and now we are going to go to Baba's in the park and do the second tournament. We had to qualify for two of these tournaments, remember, so that we could get into the arena match later, and we'll see a little bit more of that after this tournament. So yeah, it's going to be the same deck, the same nature, water aggro. Start off with Emerald, put down a trigger, and pass to his turn. I've got this sped up just so it goes a little faster. So if you need to follow anything, just go ahead and press pause or something like that. And I'm actually going to talk for a little bit and not narrate this match as much. I'm resuming. College is almost over. As some of you may know, I go to Virginia Tech out in Blacksburg, Virginia. And the semester is almost over, but I've still got about 2.5 weeks, I guess. The semester ends on December 15th, so I guess, yeah, 15 days from now. So, as soon as that's done, I'll be back in Virginia Beach, and getting back with CVH and all them, and start uploading a lot more battles. We got about 20 or so matches and games in when I was back for Thanksgiving break, so those will be uploaded periodically. And as soon as I get back to Virginia Beach, we're going to start recording some more, so I'm going to have a lot of stuff on a back file. So you guys will be seeing that when I start. I'm considering starting I guess going from Wednesday, Saturday, which is something I'm going to do for the next 2.5 weeks while I'm here in school and finishing the semester. And then as soon as the semester ends and I'm back home and I have a lot more time and I don't have school and stuff to worry about, I'll be doing a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday upload, and hopefully might even get more videos in between those days instead of just doing 3 a week. Or going from 2 a week to 3 a week, I might even try to get 4 a week. It just depends on my schedule and what's going on. I know I'm going to be working full time when I'm back for a month, but yeah, other than that, I'll have a lot of material back for you guys, and you'll be seeing that over time. Hopefully, I'll be able to finish this Let's Play and over the course of the next month, and you guys will be seeing those periodically. This game is actually, I mean, it's got about, I want to say about 20 hours worth of gameplay, just because of all you have to play matches and games and so forth, and you have to get a lot of games in, but that's usually what takes up a lot of the storyline. The storyline's actually pretty short, but you'll be seeing that over time. But yeah, I gotta do this tournament, and then after that, go meet with Daba, and he'll give me the entrance into the arena tournament. So I'll go ahead and play this girl now. I didn't really notice what the guy was playing. I recorded this a long time ago and I'm narrating it now, so bear with me if I forget stuff. And I've got it sped up, so it's kind of hard to follow sometimes. But she goes first, she gets Fairy Life, so she's already up at like 4 mana on her third turn, so that kind of has me worried. But I have Torcon for turn 2, and I'll play him, hoping I get a Bark Whip or something. She's got an Aqua Guard, and looks like a Smash Horn. Looks like a Water Nature Survivors. Actually, I can see the Smash Horns in her graveyard, or in her mana zone. And I think she's got a few other ones like Spike Strike and what's the other one called? The Hydro Turtle. So I play Hulkus, I draw a card, and now it's her turn. She's got Prometheus, which doesn't have an ability but gains all the other survivors' abilities. And now I'm kind of worried because I don't know how I'm going to deal with this Smash one that has 3,000 power. So go to 4 mana, summon Silver Axe, and I'm going to have to wait a turn to kill it. Now, this is something that you can do to opponent. Oh, I get mana nexus, which is cool, so I put a natural snare down, so that's going to be helpful later. Go ahead and play Aqua Guard, and play another Hulkus to draw. Now, I know that if I attack with Hulkus, she's going to block with her Aqua Guard instead of letting it go through so she can save her Smash Horn. So I go ahead and attack with Aqua Guard, and she bounces. And it's an easy way to sort of trick the opponent. It doesn't work so much later on. Like some of the arena tournaments, the opponents are actually a little bit tougher. But it's a trick you can use if every now and then, which the opponent will usually fall for. So I do that, and then use Silver Axe to destroy her Smash Horn. And now she has Spike Strike, which is cool. So now her Prometheus is unblockable. So she destroys my Torcon, which is kind of annoying. So I'm at 5 mana now. I think she's at 6. So I'm trailing in mana, but I've got an Emerald. I go ahead and put Nexus down. And I pick up a Terror Pit, which is kind of annoying. So, but I can play that Terror Pit in my mana later and use that Nexus, which I put down to my advantage. So I attack her shield to hit a mana Nexus this time, and she puts down a Aqua Surfer. And now she's got Hydro Turtle, so she's just got like big survivor after big survivor, and she's sort of getting their effects, which is kind of annoying, but so far I've got field advantage, and as long as I can keep that big guy alive, I can keep killing her stuff off. And she keeps taking out my weenie stuff, so it works out. So I play Terror Pit in mana, summon another Silver Fist, and use my other Silver Fist to destroy her Spike Strike and break her shield with the other creature that I've got, the Emerald. And now she's got Surfer, so she's probably going to surf back one of my Silver Fists and use her Hydro Turtle to attack my Emerald, but I go ahead and block and kill both of us. So that's my turn. I've got a lot of cards in my hand. Go ahead and play down one of the Bark Whips, so I can play Torcon and evolve it immediately, or play Silver Fist. Like I said, narration happened a long time ago. Okay, I play both creatures, Silver Fist and Torcon, and hold on to the Bark Whip just in case. Hit a third trigger in a row, which is Spiral Gate, so that's awesome. Silver Fist comes back to my hand, and use the Emerald to break her second to last shield. So now I know she's scrambling. I've got 3 attackers, and next turn I'm going to be able to summon the Silver Fist, which she returned, and evolve that in a Bark Whip, so not too worried about what she's going to be able to do this turn. She summons a lot of blockers, which I know I'm going to be able to take care of. And, yeah. Pretty much I'm going to do what I said, summon the, summon Creel. Instead, to bounce back her Balloon Shroom, or bounce back one of her blockers, and go ahead and evolve Torcon into Bark Whip. Try to destroy her Aqua Surfer, which I do. And now, I left her one shield, and she's going to summon Factory Shell, search her deck for a Smash Horn, and summon the Guard, which I bounced with Creel. Then she attacks me with Balloon Shroom, hits the Natural Snare, and I go ahead and snare back the blocker. And now I'm pretty sure that I've got it this turn. I'll go ahead and play Terror Pit, just to clear field off, get rid of the Factory Shell. Use Bark Whip to destroy Balloon Shroom, break your last shield. It hits Surfer, but again, the AI can be tricked. If you attack with your bigger creatures first, they're always going to target the biggest creature that they can with whatever effect that they can, so she bounces back Bark Whip, and I swing with Creel. So now we're playing this kid, and I get a pretty good hand. Nothing to write home about, but yeah. It looks like he's playing some sort of nature aggro. He's got Crowwinger, which is sort of a threat since, again, I play the water, and I go ahead and play Stream, and pass turn. I don't want to lose the Torcon in case he has Bark Whip or something like that. But he's got a Mighty Bandit, which can possibly be a problem later as far as getting or destroying my creature, since he taps and gives a creature plus 5,000. So I play Emerald, put down a trigger, and summon Bark Whip on top of the Torcon and destroy his Crowwinger, and pass turn to him. So now he does have his Bark Whip now, which he decides to summon on his Mighty Bandit, and he's got a Brutal Charge, which lets him, for every trigger, or for every shield that he breaks with his creatures this turn, he gets to search his deck for each trigger, or for each shield that he hits. But, unluckily for him, he hits Terror Pit, and I destroy his Bark Whip, and he searches his deck for Bronze Arm Tribe. So now he's got a clear field, and I've got a lot of advantage. So I summon Bronze Arm Tribe, and then summon Hulkus to draw, and I'm pretty much set up for victory next turn. There's not a lot that he's going to be able to do. So I break 2 of his shields, and he's going to summon that Bronze Arm Tribe that he got last turn, go to 3 mana, and summon his own Bark Whip again, and destroy my Emerald. So it looks like, yeah, I'm just going to summon Crystal Lancer, and I really haven't seen any triggers yet, and if he's got Nexus, I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to go for the double break with Lancer, don't hit a trigger, attack with Bark Whip, and swing with Emerald for game. And that's the tournament. So, I get my prizes. I completed it with 1 house rule, so I get a couple packs, pull a Larbergear and another Lancer, get a Quixotic in the other pack, so might use those later. If you guys have any suggestions for the next deck that you want me to play, send some comments on this video, and I'll look into it and see what I can put together. Remember, I'm only get the first 8 sets, so keep in mind that if you submit a deck list or decide on a deck that you want me to run, it can only be with the first 8 sets. So yeah, up through Epic Dragons. So I go back to Daba's shop, and he tells me, I tell him about Shobu, and he tells me to talk to Knight about it, but since I don't know where Knight is, I can't do that. He gives me a pass to go to the arena tournament, so I'm going to go do that. And now the arena tournaments are set up for best 2 out of 3, and we get our announcers again. And they talk and talk, and they're talking about me, and saying that I've been tearing it up at the qualifiers, which I was. I am currently undefeated in this game so far with my Nature Water aggro. So yeah, I play this kid. He's playing a light fire, sort of, I don't really know what you'd call it. He just kind of has some blockers. He's got a lot of low mana, or like 3 mana, like Torch Clinchers, and I can't remember what the other card was called. So this Crater Soar thing, and it gets an ability once all of his shields are broken. I think it gets like plus 3,000 power attacker and double breaker or something like that. So I've got a guard and a Hulkus, and I'm not too worried. That Crater Soar could pose a problem later, but I'm not too worried about it right now. It's only 2,000 attack. He's got a Torch Clincher, which gets plus 3,000 power attacker, while he's got another fire creature. So he attacks, I go ahead and let him go through, and he hits a Terror Pit, which is real cool. So I hit his blocker so that I can bounce with Hulkus. And decide what I want to play for mana. I'll go ahead and play that Pit down in case he gets a Nexus later. Play Bronze Arm Tribe to mana up a little bit. And bounce with his Crater Sword with my Hulkus. So it's looking like I've got a little bit of an advantage here. He's going to keep summoning these Crater Sword things. That's probably not what they're called, but that's what I'm calling them. He hits Torcon in the shield, so far shield triggers have been really helping me out so far this tournament. So now I'm up to 6 mana thanks to the Bronze Arm Tribe last turn, so I'll go ahead and attack his his Torch Clincher with Lancer, and break a shield with Bronze Arm, and break a shield with Torcon. So he's got yet another Torch Clincher. So he's kind of like Torch Clincher after Kratos after Torch Clincher so far. So I decided to just go ahead and play Stream. See if I can draw into something useful. I get 2 Barkwoods, which is cool, so I'll play Torcon and be able to evolve into Barkwhip next turn. I'll go ahead and pass without attacking his shields with Torcons because I know he's going to kill him later. And now he's got a Suri Glory Elemental, which gets Blocker and I think Double Breaker once all of his shields are broken. But he attacks, hits Nexus, so I'll go ahead and put another Nexus down just in case. Now I've got 3 Barkwhips in my hand, which is kind of cool. I'll play Silver Fist, and then go ahead and play Barkwhip, and evolve a Torcon into Barkwhip. I'll go ahead and break his last 3 shields with my creatures. And then now that Suri has double break, or now that Suri has blocker, I saved Crystal Lancer for last so that he could attack for game without anything being destroyed just in case. So now we're in game 2 versus this kid, and I draw a whole bunch of nature cards, which is alright, I guess. He seems to start off the same way with a Giga, and again, not too worried about it. He's got a Kook Balloon this time, and that could pose a problem since I don't have a lot of removal spells outside of the Natural Snare and the Terror Pits. So, hoping I can do something to deal with that, and lo and behold, I get a Snare in the first shield that he breaks, so I snare away the Kook Balloon, and now I don't have to worry about that thing. So, I'll go ahead and play Bronze Arm Tribe to put myself to 5 mana, and then evolve that Bronze Arm Tribe immediately into Barkwhip, and go ahead and get into the shields. He doesn't block with the Lara Giga, so I go ahead and pass turn. I don't want to lose Hulkich just yet. He's got Suri Glory Elemental early this time, so now I have to find a way to deal with that. And so the only thing I can think of is to drop as many creatures as possible so that I can keep breaking his shields and Suri's not going to be able to keep up. So go ahead and attack with Hulkus, or attack with Barkwhip, excuse me, and decide to just attack with Hulkus so that he loses his Lara Giga, and he does block with it, so that all worked out. Now he's got this Believe thing that has another ability. Once all of his shields are broken, I think it just gets Blocker. And he's got a Lightning Charger, which he uses to tap my Silver Fist, but then he just goes ahead and destroys Barkwhip instead. So I've got Energy Stream and another Barkwhip, so I'll go ahead and use that Stream, evolve into Barkwhip, break a shield, and now use my Silver Fist to bounce with his Suri, since thanks to Barkwhip he gets another plus 2,000 power, putting him up at 7,000 and allowing me to bounce with Suri. So now he's got this Blade Dragon thing, which again, this deck seems like it's running off of the creatures that get the effects when he doesn't have shields, which I think is kind of a silly strategy, but whatever, it's keeping up. It's got a lot of low mana creatures, which allows him to keep up with me. And I mean, he's at 9 mana now, so whatever he's doing, it's working out for him. So he's got another Blade Dragon and a Crater Soar, so a couple of big guys. But I have Kirill, so I'm going to bounce back his dragon and evolve my Silver Fist into Barkwhip, and go ahead and break his last shields and swing with Jolter for a game. So, beat him 2-0, so now we're in the second round of this tournament. And this kid looks almost like the same kid I just played, actually. Just noticed that now. Get a decent hand. It looks like I'm not going to be doing anything till turn 3, unless I draw 2-drop, but I've got 2 Barkwhips, so Bronze Arm Barkwhip looks like it might happen. I'll draw into a Lancer, and I'll decide to hold on to it, play one of the Barkwhips in mana, and pass without doing anything. He's got a Ballast, So it's looking like this could be an initiate deck, but we'll see where it goes. Now he's at 3 mana, and he evolves into Siege Bellicula, which gives all of his other creatures in the battle zone blocker. And it's at 5,000, which means I'm going to have to bounce with Bark Whip if I want, but luckily I get a Creel, and I'll just go ahead and bounce them both back to the top of his deck. He chooses the order, and I don't know which order that was, so we'll see what happens. He summons Ballas, which I assume was the Ballas I bounced, so that means he's got Siege on the top of his deck coming next turn. And now he's got Ballas and a Saurius on field, which could potentially pose a little bit of a problem, but I've got the Bark Whips, so we'll go ahead and evolve the Bronze Arm that I just played into Bark Whip. Swing at a shield, which he chooses not to block, and I'll go ahead and pass turn. Now he's got this Kalgo, which gets unblockable, can't be blocked by things with power of 4,000 or less, so that's kind of cool. I don't play blockers, so or the only blocker I play is Guard, which I don't really use for blocking anyway, so I'm not too worried about that effect. Summon Bronze Arm, and then get the mana Excel and summon Silver Fist. Go ahead and attack with Bark Whip to kill his Ballas, and then he bounces with Bronze Arm when I try to break a shield, and then swing with Creel to break another shield, and he's got a Crazed Valkyrie, which is awesome. He summons it over his Kalgo, taps my 2 creatures, and then destroys Bark Whip. But seeing as how that's the only card in his field, I'm not too worried about it. Again, he's got to keep up with my onslaught of creatures in order to keep up with me, and I've got another Bark Whip, which I'm going to evolve over the Torcon I just drew, so unless he's got a Holy All, I'm going to swing for game. Break his last shield, no trigger, and swing with Bronze Arm for game. So we go to game 2 now, and it picks up. I've got a little bit of a better hand than I did last game, so that's something I can actually summon on turn 2 this time. Oh my god. And he's got Kalgo. I wish these matches were a lot more interesting. Yeah, this Let's Play is going to be basically that last game, or that last tournament you saw in this tournament. Next time the story is going to start to pick up a little more. Now that I'm qualified, I have to go, that was something Dobble was telling me about at the shop too. I have to go pretty much find a sponsor to sponsor me here in this arena tournament, or the next arena tournament. And this one's kind of just like qualifying for the arena tournament. So, pretty much to get sponsored, you have to go complete a tournament using all of that tournament's house rules. So I'll probably go get sponsored by the lady down in the park, just because her house rules are the easiest. I think it's what, no blockers, no survivors, and no double breakers. So I'll probably put a simple little rush deck together, maybe a Fire Water Rush, or maybe a Fire Nature Rush. So probably put something like that together, and you'll probably see that next time. And then I'll be taking suggestions after that for decks to use. He's got a Siege Bellicula, but I can reel that back, and now that I've got all of these attackers, I just go ahead and swing for game. Not a whole lot he could do about that. So now we're in the finals. It's me and this chick, and she's looking way too hardcore. So I'm pretty sure that it's not gonna be too bad. She's playing Darkness, which is something different. I don't think I've played a good Darkness deck yet. And she starts off Propeller Mutant, so immediately I'm worried. Anything that has to do with hand discard is going to be bad. keeping a hand with my deck is kind of important. I'm only playing the 2 streams and the Hulkuses, so we really don't want to lose hand advantage, especially against a dark deck, which could drop out low cost ghost creatures like Lone Tears and Lone Tears and then Shadow Moons, which can pose a lot of problems. But I go ahead and kill it with Hulkus, and she hits the Jolter that's in my hand, so we're good to go. Not too worried. She summons Lone Tear and then evolves that into Frost Spectre, which gives all of her creatures, all of her other darkness creatures, Slayer, which can be a problem. So I'll go ahead and put the Terror Pit in mana and play Kirill now. Or maybe I'll play Barkwhip and go ahead and kill the Hulkus. So she doesn't have a 5th turn play, which I get lucky on, so now I can freely play the Kirill and bounce the Frost Spectre and not have to bounce with my Barkwhip. And I'll break shit with Barkwhip. So she's got Terror Pit now, which is kind of annoying. She's gonna Terror Pit my Barkwhip, and now that I've pretty much just gotta deal with that. She still doesn't have a field though, so I'm still feeling pretty good. I'll go ahead and break another shield with Kirill. And now she's at 7 mana, and she's going to summon Shadow Moon, which can be kind of a problem. But she goes ahead and evolves over it with Frost Spectre. So that's cool. Instead of having to deal with Shadow Moon now, I've just got to deal with Frost Spectre, which is a little bit easier. Shadow Moon's effect, giving all of your darkness creatures plus 2,000 power, would be a lot harder to deal with otherwise. So I'm gonna evolve my Torcon into Barkwhip and bounce with her Frost Spectre and go ahead and break a shield and pass turn to her. She summons one of those Propeller Mutants. I'm not too worried about it. I'll go ahead and Natural Snare it back to her mana zone, so I'll have to deal with it. And I hit a Proclamation of Death, so I'll go ahead and kill my own Emerald. But she has no shields left, and I'm not too worried. All I have to do is really draw an evolution creature, or hope that she can't kill the Aqua Hulkus, and I'll be good to go. But she does have Proclamation of Death, and since Hulkus is the only creature on my side of the field, I'm going to have to destroy it. So now I have no creatures on my side of the field, and hoping I can simply keep Emerald alive on the field, since it's my only attacker. But she summons a blocker, so that kind of stinks, and now I'm hoping I can get something to deal with that, or hope she'll hit a trigger. So I let her swing through, and she doesn't attack with Propeller. So I'll summon another Bronze Arm Tribe, and another Guard, and now I've got 2 attackers to her 1 blocker. So hopefully she won't have another answer, and I'll be able to attack her next turn, and it looks like that is the case. She hits Terror Pit, and I'll go ahead and Terror Pit the blocker, and block with Guard against her Hulkus, so they both bounce. And I'll go ahead and just attack with Bronze Arm Tribe to swing for a game. We're getting towards the end of this tournament now. This is, I believe, I 2-0 her, so this is going to be the last match. And she gets off to a pretty decent start. I mean, she's got the blocker, which is something I don't really need to worry about. As long as I summon Barkwhip and stuff, I should have no problem dealing with this blocker. And she summons another one, so fending me off early game, which is good, I guess. Again, not really too worried about these blockers. I've got Silver Fist now, so he'll be able to attack over these blockers. And she's got Holkis, so this deck's looking like it's working out pretty well for her. Water Dart with Holkis's Propeller Mutants and a Ghost base for Ghost Evolutions. I saw Jack Viper in her Mana Zone, so looks like she's trying stuff with that. I attack with Silver Fist, and she decides to block. So, or I summon Creel, bounce one of those blockers back to her at the top of her deck, and then attack with Silver Fist and break shield. So. And she decides to attack my Silver Fist with one of her gray balloons because they can attack creatures. And she bounces her Silver Fist with or her gray balloon with my Silver Fist. But she decides to break shield and hits a Terror Pit, so shield triggers have really been doing a lot of work for me in these games. So it's looking good for me. I attack with Emerald and Creel, and I hit a Terror Pit of hers, and she gets rid of my Lancer. So that kind of stinks. Now she summons Shadow Moon, which powers up her Propeller Mutants, which lets her kill both of my creatures. So now she's got a lot of field advantage, and she's got a pretty big hand. So I summon the one creature that I draw, and she Hydra Hurricanes, which lets her bounce a creature for every, or bounce a card in my Mana Zone in my hand for every light creature she controls, and bounce a creature on my side of the field back to my hand for every dark creature she controls. So she starts breaking a lot of shields, but she hits a natural snare, so I get to snare back the Shadow Moon, and now I've got a little bit of a hand, so hopefully I'll be able to do something with that. Draw a Terror Pit, which could be useful since I do have one Terror Pit in Mana Zone. And summon my second Holkis, which draws me a Bark Whip. So next turn I'll be able to use that. Summon the Torcon in my hand, and then summon Bark Whip. So she's got me down to no shields now, but she hits the Terror Pit, which I put down with Emerald earlier in the game, so I Terror Pit one of the Propeller Mutants, and she Propeller Mutants the Terror Pit in my hand, so that kind of stinks. But now I've got a Bronze Arm Tribe, and a Bark Whip, so I'll go ahead and Bronze Arm, and summon a Bark Whip on top of that Bronze Arm, which I will do, and then I'll Bronze Arm again, and I'll attack her Propeller Mutant, which destroys the Bark Whip in my hand, and I'll Bark Whip her last shield. So she's got me down to no shields, and I've got her down to one shield, and unless she has an evolution creature, which she doesn't, she's not going to be able to swing for the game. So I'll go ahead and Bronze Arm again, and swing at her last shield, and break her last shield with Holkis, and then swing at Bronze Arm Tribe. So pulled that back from having no advantage in both games to winning both. So for winning the arena tournament, I get a couple cards, a Rumbling Terrorhorn, and some other random stuff, a candy drop. And so now he tells me that in order to compete in the next arena tournament, I'm going to have to find a sponsor. And then Midna shows up, and or whatever her name is, she shows up and wants to do another interview. And here it is with the weird faces again. So she's asking me a few things. These questions, it really doesn't matter how you answer it. Like there, just answer like, what do you do in your free time? I eat a lot. Just completely random. So yeah. Once she's done with the interview, now I have to go, or she tells me that Knight is at Tatum's shop, so I'll go meet with him a little later. And that's pretty much it for this episode. Next episode, I'll go find a sponsor, change up my deck a little bit, completing the house rules and all that, and pretty much see where the storyline goes. But yeah, guys, just 2 quick tournaments for you today in the Let's Play. Like I said, hopefully next episode will be a little more beefier. We'll get a little more into the storyline. But yeah, guys, if you like this video, leave me a like. That's how people find these things, and jumps me up in the ratings, I guess. But yeah, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Alright guys, take care. Peace.